A surprising truth about aging muscles. What if there were a single dietary strategy, not a pill, not a supplement, but a whole food that could reverse muscle loss even in people over 70? That's not clickbait. It's grounded in a growing body of research from fields like gerontology, muscle physiology, and nutrition science. And this food is not rare. In fact, it's misunderstood and underused by older adults. As we age, muscle loss, known medically as sarcopenia, is almost inevitable without intervention. But muscle isn't just for strength or appearance. It's central to metabolic health, injury recovery, and even lifespan. The good news? Science now shows that the body still responds to the right inputs, even in later decades of life. Sarcopenia, the silent crisis of aging. Sarcopenia affects balance, strength, mobility, and independence. But its effects run deeper. Muscle decline is closely linked to insulin resistance, falls, frailty, and even early death. Starting around age 50, most adults lose about 3 to 8% of their muscle mass each decade. After 60, the loss speeds up. Yet it doesn't have to be this way. With resistance training and proper nutrition, the body can adapt at almost any age. Seniors in their 70s, 80s, even 90s can still build strength, regain function, and preserve independence. This isn't about vanity. It's about being able to get out of a chair without help, carry groceries, or recover from illness. Muscle more than meets the eye. Skeletal muscle is more than movement tissue. It's the largest site of glucose disposal in the human body, responsible for about 80% of post-meal glucose uptake. That makes it a key player in insulin sensitivity, blood sugar control, and diabetes prevention. A 13,000-person study in diabetes care found that higher muscle mass reduced insulin resistance, regardless of age or body weight. In short, two people could eat the same foods and weigh the same, but the one with more muscle will be metabolically healthier. Muscle is an endocrine organ, a glucose buffer, and one of our most important longevity tools. Metabolic reserve, your aging insurance policy. Think of muscle as a retirement savings account for your health. The more you build and preserve, the better your body can recover from surgeries, infections, or stress. One patient in her mid-70s recovered from a severe infection remarkably well. Not because of luck, but because she'd spent decades maintaining strength. Muscle protects more than strength. It's a backup system that helps you bounce back when life knocks you down. That's why it's so crucial to build what researchers call metabolic reserve. Daily investments in longevity. Investing in muscle isn't about extreme diets or punishing workouts. It's about daily habits, walking, training, eating enough protein. Every action is a deposit in your future. A few squats today might mean independence tomorrow. A single resistance workout each week can be the difference between recovering from a fall or never walking again. So ask yourself, if your body were a retirement plan, would you be building or withdrawing? Because muscle, more than any other tissue, reflects your choices and your potential for aging well. Protein, the most underrated lever in aging well. If you want to keep or rebuild muscle, especially after 60, protein is non-negotiable. But not just any protein, leucine-rich protein, delivered in the right amounts at the right time. Leucine is a specific amino acid that acts like a trigger for muscle protein synthesis, MPS. Without enough leucine per meal, typically 2.5 grams, you won't stimulate MPS effectively, especially as you age. Unfortunately, most older adults aren't getting close to that in their meals, particularly at breakfast. Anabolic resistance. Why seniors need more protein. With age comes anabolic resistance. That means your muscles don't respond as well to protein as they once did. A meal with 20 g of protein might work for a 25-year-old, but a 70-year-old might need 35 g or more to get the same effect. Luckily, this resistance isn't permanent. With proper training and nutrition, the muscle sensitivity can be restored. But it takes more protein, more intention, more consistency. Resistance exercise also primes the muscle, making it more receptive to protein afterwards. The one food that reverses muscle loss. So what is this powerful food? Technically, it's a category leucine-rich, animal-based protein sources like whey protein isolate and eggs. Whey isolate has the highest natural leucine content, 10 to 12% by weight. Just 25 g of whey contains enough leucine to activate MPS in older adults. Clinical trials confirm this. One 12-week study showed that older adults consuming whey protein gained muscle mass, strength, and walking speed. Eggs are another excellent choice. They're easy to chew, digest, and cook. Animal versus plant protein, what you need to know. Plant-based proteins aren't useless, but they often contain less leucine and are less bioavailable. That means you have to eat more plant protein to get the same muscle-building effect. For some older adults, especially those with poor appetite or dental issues, that's unrealistic. So while plant proteins can be part of the picture, the foundation should be built on high leucine, complete proteins like whey, eggs, fish, poultry, and dairy. A sample day hitting the leucine threshold. Here's a simple meal strategy. Breakfast. Whey protein shake plus Greek yogurt equals 30 g high-quality protein. Lunch. Chicken salad with quinoa equals 30-35 g protein. Dinner. Salmon, lentils, and steamed veggies equals 35-40 g protein. Every meal hits the leucine threshold. Every meal triggers MPS. You're not eating more, you're eating smarter. And that small shift can mean the difference between frailty and freedom. The breakfast mistake most older adults make. Here's the reality. Most older adults start the day with cereal, toast, or just coffee. That means they're missing the first and arguably most important opportunity to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. Breakfast should be a trigger, not a missed signal. A whey protein shake, Greek yogurt, and a boiled egg could completely shift your muscle metabolism before noon. You're not bulking up. You're keeping the engine running. It's not about adding years to your life. It's about adding strength to your years. What is anabolic resistance, really? We've mentioned anabolic resistance a few times. Now let's define it more clearly. Anabolic resistance is the reduced ability of aging muscle to respond to dietary protein. That means the same meal that builds muscle in a 30-year-old has a much weaker effect in someone over 65. Why? Less blood flow to muscles. Slower activation of mTOR, the key muscle-building pathway. Blunted sensitivity of muscle cells to leucine. Think of it like trying to jumpstart a cold engine. You need more energy, more time, and more precision. But the engine can start. The cure: protein plus resistance training. Fortunately, anabolic resistance isn't a death sentence for your muscles. It's reversible if you act. A landmark study in the Journal of Physiology found that when older adults performed resistance training before eating protein, their muscle response was significantly stronger than from eating protein alone. Here's the takeaway. Training is the spark. Protein is the fuel. You need both consistently to reverse muscle decline. A simple at-home routine for seniors. Not everyone wants to go to a gym. You don't need to. A basic home routine 3 times per week can transform muscle health. Chair squats, wall push-ups, step-ups on stairs, resistance band rows. Follow it up with a protein shake or eggs and you've just sent a strong anabolic signal to your body. Over time, your muscles become more sensitive, your strength improves, and you regain confidence in daily movement. A real story: recovery through muscle. Here's a true case. A 74-year-old patient of mine, pre-diabetic and beginning to lose strength, started a simple program. Light resistance workouts plus 30 g of whey protein after each session. In 3 months, his lean muscle mass increased. His fasting glucose improved. He stopped needing help climbing stairs. That's not theory. That's application. That's the power of combining resistance with targeted nutrition. Resistance training, the blueprint for aging well. Protein is the material your body uses to build muscle. But resistance training is the blueprint. Without it, your body has no signal to build or preserve muscle tissue. After 60, the body defaults toward catabolism, the gradual breakdown of tissues. So if you're not training, you're not just maintaining less, you're actively losing more. This is why nutrition alone isn't enough. You need to provide a reason for your body to hold onto its muscle, and the only way to do that is mechanical tension. The research: what actually works? In a major meta-analysis of 40-plus studies on adults over 60, the conclusions were clear. Resistance training plus protein equals more lean mass. Strength gains translated to real-world outcomes. Fewer falls, better balance, less hospital time. In another trial published in the Journal of Gerontology, sedentary adults over 75 trained just twice a week. After 12 weeks, their strength increased. Their walking speed improved. They gained muscle even with just 30-minute sessions. It doesn't take much, but it takes consistency. A beginner routine that delivers results. Here's what I recommend for most older adults starting out. 2 sessions per week, 15 to 20 minutes each. Chair squats, wall push-ups, resistance band rows, step-ups. Use slow tempo, 2 seconds up, 2 down, and focus on control. Once it feels easy, add reps or resistance bands. Don't chase intensity, chase progression. And if joint pain is an issue, use water aerobics. Try isometric holds. Focus on seated versions. Your muscles don't know your age. They only know the tension you place on them. Why sarcopenia is preventable, not inevitable. Muscle loss isn't a guaranteed part of aging. It's the result of inaction. If you stop moving, your body interprets that as, I don't need this muscle anymore, and it starts reallocating resources elsewhere. So even just a small effort, 2 20-minute sessions per week, spaced out, sends a powerful message. This tissue matters. Keep it. That message is your biological shield against sarcopenia. Final thought. Your body still listens. Ask yourself this. What message are you sending your body? Every rep, every protein-rich meal, every time you get up without support. It's a signal that strength still matters. Because here's the truth. Muscle is protective. Muscle is adaptable. And even at 75 or 85, your body will respond if you give it the right cues. So don't chase perfection. Just train with purpose, eat with intention, and keep investing in your future self. Protein distribution, the overlooked factor. Many people focus on how much protein they eat in a day, but what's often overlooked is how they space it out. That distribution matters, especially after age 60. Here's the typical pattern. Breakfast, toast or fruit, 5-10 g protein. Lunch, sandwich or salad, 15-20 g. Dinner, big protein-heavy meal, 40-50 g. The daily total might look okay, but the muscle-building opportunity is lost at breakfast and lunch. Why? Because muscle protein synthesis, MPS, is threshold-dependent. You need around 30-40 g of high-quality protein per meal to switch on MPS in older adults. The science, even distribution equals greater muscle gains. A study in the Journal of Nutrition tested this. 2 groups of older adults ate the same amount of protein daily, about 90 g. One group spread it evenly, 30 g at each meal. The other skewed it, 10 g at breakfast, 20 g at lunch, 60 g at dinner. After several weeks, the evenly distributed group had significantly higher MPS and better nitrogen retention. Translation: they built more muscle even though total protein intake was identical. This means 3 opportunities a day to protect and rebuild muscle, if you hit that leucine threshold. The kidney myth debunked. Many older adults worry that eating too much protein could harm their kidneys. But the truth is, in healthy individuals, even those over 70, there's no scientific evidence that high protein intake damages kidney function. Where does this myth come from? Mostly from studies involving people who already had chronic kidney disease. In healthy aging adults, the danger is actually the opposite. Not enough protein leads to loss of strength, balance, mobility, and resilience. So rather than fearing protein, we should be prioritizing it. The anorexia of aging and how to fight it. As we age, our appetite naturally declines. This is called the anorexia of aging, and it's a real risk factor for muscle loss. One patient of mine in her mid-70s had this problem. She said, "I just don't feel like eating much anymore." She was recovering from a fall and had lost a lot of muscle. We made 3 changes. 30 g protein per meal, spaced evenly. 1 whey shake between lunch and dinner. Protein first focus at every meal. 3 months later, her lean mass was up, her recovery faster, and her walking improved. Not from supplements or medications, just smart timing, quality, and consistency. Why muscle mass equals health span? Let's zoom out. Why does all of this matter? Because muscle is one of the strongest predictors of health span, more than blood pressure, cholesterol, or even BMI. Health span equals years you live free of disease, disability, and dependency. It's not just about living longer, it's about living better. Skeletal muscle protects against falls, regulates blood sugar, supports immunity, helps you recover from illness or surgery. Lose muscle and you lose more than strength, you lose independence. Landmark studies, muscle predicts survival. A pivotal study from the American Journal of Medicine followed 600+ older adults. It found that low muscle mass equals significantly higher mortality. More muscle equals better survival, regardless of weight or activity level. Another study, the Health ABC study, found that seniors in the lowest 20% for strength and muscle were twice as likely to develop disabilities over 6 years. That means muscle isn't cosmetic, it's protective. It's like body armor against the slow decline of aging. Intervention works even in your 80s. Some believe muscle loss is inevitable past 70. It's not. In fact, the research says the opposite. Resistance training in people over 75 leads to better muscle retention, fewer falls, less hospital time, fewer depressive symptoms. Even in your 80s, your body responds. One of my patients undergoing chemotherapy had a faster recovery than patients 15 years younger. Why? She had a muscle foundation built over years of light training and steady protein intake. The biology of resilience. Muscle isn't just about strength, it's about recovery. Muscle stores amino acids your immune system can use during illness or injury. It helps you recover from surgery. It reduces inflammation, keeps you mobile during stress. Think of it as your biological savings account. Every rep, every meal, every walk is a deposit. And one day you'll need to make a withdrawal, whether from surgery, infection, or injury. Those with muscle bounce back. Those without struggle. The 6 pillars of rebuilding muscle after 60. Let's recap what really works. Prioritize muscle as metabolic, not cosmetic. Eat high-leucine protein, whey, eggs, fish, poultry. Hit 30-40 g protein per meal, especially breakfast. Distribute protein evenly across the day. Strength train 2x per week, no gym needed. Pair training plus protein to beat anabolic resistance. These are the non-negotiables if your goal is to stay strong, mobile, and independent in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. The 7-day challenge. Build your future strength. Here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, add 1 resistance movement, chair squat, wall push-up into your daily routine. Pair it with 30 g of protein from eggs, Greek yogurt, or a whey shake. Repeat 3x this week. That's it. You'll feel stronger. But more importantly, you'll start to retrain your body from breakdown to growth. From fragility to capacity. Aging is real, but muscle loss is not inevitable. It's a choice, and the path to strength is still open. Reframing aging from decline to adaptation. Let's revisit the core mindset shift. Aging isn't just decline, it's an adaptation problem. When you understand that your body still responds to input, whether it's muscle tension, protein intake, or recovery, you shift from being passive in the aging process to active. You become a participant in your own health trajectory. It's not about being 25 again. It's about being the strongest, most capable version of yourself at 65, 70, or 80. That's what the science supports and what your body is still capable of doing. Muscle as the longevity organ. We often think of the heart or brain as central to longevity, but skeletal muscle plays a more silent, but equally critical role. It influences blood sugar regulation, mitochondrial efficiency, inflammation balance, hormonal signaling, recovery from illness or surgery. In medical terms, muscle is now viewed as an endocrine organ, releasing molecules called myokines that impact organs across the entire body. It's not just tissue. It's a powerful signal generator for whole body health. The minimal effective dose of strength training. Let's make this concrete. You don't need a gym membership, fancy equipment, 90-minute workouts. You need consistency, progression, and intention. Here's the minimal effective dose that research supports. White heavy checkmark 2x per week. White heavy checkmark 15 to 30 minutes per session. White heavy checkmark basic compound movements. Chair squats, wall push-ups, step-ups, resistance band rows. White heavy checkmark 2 to 3 sets per movement. Add reps or resistance slowly. That's progression. The point is to send a signal that your muscle still matters. Protein timing, your daily muscle building blueprint. Here's your day, optimized for muscle preservation. Breakfast, 30 g protein, whey protein plus Greek yogurt. Lunch, 30-35 g protein, chicken, turkey, tofu with grains and vegetables. Dinner, 35-40 g protein, fish, lentils or eggs with steamed greens and sweet potato. Snack, optional, 15-20 g protein, protein shake, cottage cheese, or boiled eggs. Each meal hits the leucine threshold and gives your body multiple triggers to synthesize muscle across the day. Overcoming barriers, appetite, joint pain, mobility. Many older adults say, "I'm not hungry in the morning. My knees hurt when I squat. I get tired quickly." These are real, but they can be worked around. White heavy checkmark, use liquid protein in the morning, easier to digest. White heavy checkmark, modify exercises. Use a chair, resistance bands, water-based training. White heavy checkmark, start small. 5 minutes today, 6 minutes next week. These aren't anomalies. They're proof of what's possible when consistent resistance meets intelligent nutrition. The 6 pillars of muscle maintenance. Recap. Let's distill everything into 6 pillars. Muscle is metabolic. It protects against disease, injury, and decline. Leucine-rich protein. Aim for 30-40 g per meal, 3x/day. Resistance training, 2-3x/week with basic bodyweight or bands. Even protein distribution. Don't skip breakfast, hit thresholds. Recovery and sleep, 7 to 8 hours per night to rebuild muscle. Mindset shift. Aging is an input problem, not just a decline process. Implement these and you're not managing decline. You're engineering resilience. Your muscle building plan. Start today. Your weekly blueprint. Monday, 15-minute resistance plus 30 g protein breakfast. Wednesday, chair squats plus 35 g protein lunch. Friday, wall push-ups plus 40 g protein dinner. Daily, walk 20 to 30 minutes, hit 3 protein-rich meals. Sunday, reflect plus plan next week. This plan isn't extreme. It's doable. And more importantly, it works. Consistency compounds. You won't feel it tomorrow, but you'll notice it in 3 months when you climb stairs with ease. Final reflection. Invest in your future self. Here's your final question. What is one action I can take this week that builds my future strength? Could be swapping cereal for eggs, adding 10 minutes of bodyweight training, taking a daily protein shake. Whatever it is, start today. Because strength isn't about youth. It's about inputs. At 70, your body still listens to training, still absorbs high-quality protein, still responds to consistent care. You have agency. Use it. And if this message resonates, consider sharing it. Help others see that muscle is not just survival, it's vitality, independence, and life itself.